Tesla has been taking on, or being, to be honest, really in a battle it doesn't want to be part of, with the union called IG Metall. It's the biggest union in Europe. I'm sure you've seen it. There's been literally tens of thousands of news articles about IG Metall and their plan to force Tesla into signing a union agreement. They've done everything they can think of. They've attacked Tesla in so many different ways. But now it appears that Tesla might get a bit of a reprieve, because IG Metall is going after two of the biggest car companies or conglomerates in the world. So it appears as though IG Metall might have its hands full. Hello friends, welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. Now guys, I have been trying to get everyone to buy solar. If you get solar, you're more likely to get an EV, because then you can charge it basically for free. The company I recommend here in Australia is called Resync Solar. I'll put a link in the description below. Strikes are about to hit Volkswagen in December, as IG Metall is saying that basically the Volkswagen Group cannot raise salaries, cannot decrease salaries as planned. So the Volkswagen Group have said they have to cut salaries by 10% and shut down 2 factories in Germany. Of course, IG Metall, well, they've got something to say about that. Workers at Volkswagen are going on strike across Germany as soon as next week, the IG Metall union said in a notice on Friday, as a clash between labour and management over layoffs and plant closures escalates. Now, IG Metall says that instead of decreasing salaries by 10% in order to prevent themselves from going bankrupt, that actually they have to increase wages by 10%. Now, you can imagine what would happen. Volkswagen has $190 billion in debt. That's US dollars, by the way. Strikes are possible and necessary from the beginning of December, said IG Metall in a handout to workers seen by Reuters. Adding an existing agreements not to stage walkouts will end on the 30th of November. In other words, strikes appear to be imminent in Germany. Warning strikes at the carmakers' plants across Germany are expected to take place on Monday, according to people familiar with what's going on, which would mark the first large-scale walkouts at the company's domestic operations for many, many years. Warning strikes usually last from a few hours up to a day. Volkswagen has said it has to cut wages by 10%, saying it needs to slash costs and boost profit to defend market share in the face of cheap competition from China and a drop in European car demand. It also threatens to close plants in Germany for the first time in its 87-year history because its profits have plummeted. Volkswagen's profits have not been this low in many, many decades. Its profits are putting the company in a situation where it may not be able to pay back its debt. Now, if you have $190 billion of debt, obviously your debt repayments are pretty high. So that's one of the key reasons why the Volkswagen Group are shutting down plants as well. Labour representatives and management will meet again on the 9th of December to decide what they're going to do. But clearly, the strikes are likely to escalate into 24-hour or unlimited strikes if a deal isn't done. If the Volkswagen Group doesn't, to some level, capitulate, then, of course, strikes will carry on in Germany. Now, usually when this sort of thing happens, it doesn't end well for anyone, as we know. Have a look how many jobs have been lost in the United States since the UAW held strikes across America and forced General Motors, Ford and Stellantis to sign new labour agreements. Literally, more than 25,000 jobs have been lost in the American automotive industry since that happened. More than 25,000. Was the result actually a net positive for people working at those companies? I would argue it wasn't. Now, the Volkswagen company itself, the group, it doesn't just have problems with IG Metall. The Volkswagen union is proposing $1.6 billion worth of cuts, but no plant closures. Now, of course, this is probably a worse situation than Ford, General Motors and Stellantis, because the Volkswagen Group have a union. Plus, they are contending with not only their own union, but also IG Metall. Now, Volkswagen workers offered on Wednesday to back $1.6 billion in cost savings if they rule out closing plants in Germany. But the Volkswagen Group has said that they need $11 billion in cost savings. So the Volkswagen union are saying, yeah, 10% of that, but as long as you don't shut down any plants. you can see here how things are looking pretty disastrous for the group. And it's not only the Volkswagen Group contending with IG Metall, not only Tesla, it's also Ford. Ford is facing backlash from German union IG Metall for its plans to cut thousands of jobs in Cologne. The US automaker has restructuring plans in the production site in Cologne. On November the 20th, Ford announced it would cut 15% of its European workforce. It cited weak demand for its vehicles, poor government support, and competition from Chinese companies for the job cuts. Ford actually have a very large workforce in Europe. They have 174,000 people. That is completely unsustainable. If you have a look at Ford's actual sales numbers, I've got no idea how they can possibly be paying for 174,000 jobs. It just doesn't add up. It's honestly completely senseless. So what's happening with Ford is Ford's Cologne factory has been experiencing job cuts for the last 2 years. In January 2023, Ford announced plans to cut 3,200 jobs in Europe, mainly in Germany. At the time, IG Metall was very much against these job cuts. Now, IG Metall says that Ford's additional job cuts on top of those 3,200 and an additional 4,000 would be the end of its Cologne factory. In our view, this would be an incremental death, said IG representative Kirsten Klein. We know the toolbox available in such a dispute and will not hesitate in giving the workforce the appropriate outlet for their anger. Giving the workforce the appropriate outlet for their anger. What exactly does that mean? I don't know. But honestly, I think it's most likely that Ford will close this factory in Cologne in Germany. And in fact, I think of those 174,000 staff that Ford have in Europe, probably maximum 50% of those will be left within the next few years. Maximum. If you're working there, if you're working in Germany, in the automotive industry, my honest opinion is that the pie is going to shrink by at least 70%. Your sales are in dire danger, and you've got to find a new job. You've got to find a different thing to do. Work in AI, work in software, work in renewable energy, work in an area that's growing, not an area that's clearly really shrinking fast. As you can see, IG Metall, not just going after Tesla, also going after Ford and the Volkswagen Group. And really, let's be honest, they haven't succeeded with Tesla. Will they succeed with Volkswagen or Ford? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments.